How to invest like Aliko Dangote in 2022. Aliko Dangote is Africa's wealthiest man, but have you ever wondered how his meteoric rise came about? Here I'm sure you've heard the story of a $3,000 loan he obtained from his uncle and started his business. And protesto instant billionaire, right? Well, or so you thought. You see, Aliko Dangote didn't hit the jackpot at some casino or have plain dumb luck in investing his money. In fact, that's far from the case. I mean, you can't just make $1 billion without a, how should I put it, formula, a winning formula. So buckle up my friends and let's delve in deep into the formula that makes Dangote's billions for him. Essentially, top-tier business investors like Aliko Dangote, Mike Adenoga or Tony Elumelu use what I, my friends, like to call the 5-step secret formula to investment royalty. If you wish to enjoy this luxury, it's accessible and open-sourced. In fact, what most people think is hard and strenuous all boils down to a few key investment strategies. And to be honest guys, it's not rocket science. They're all tips you can apply easily to your life and simply reap the benefits of a greater portfolio. And of course, at number one, it absolutely has to be invest in yourself. I know, you've probably heard this one like 1,000,000 times before, but to be honest, there's no other place I'd rather start from. This is due to the importance of the first step, and once you get it right, you're good to go. But then, if you get it wrong, it gets pretty quick. That's why I'm here to make life much easier for you and get you to where you need to be. Do trust me on this when I say you're going to want to invest in yourself because you're only ever as important as the value you add. And yes, that's absolutely right, you heard me correctly. If you truly want to make your mark in this world, or maybe you just want to make a difference in the world, then you need to invest in yourself as much as you can. But how exactly do you do that? Well, take it from the king of investment himself, Mr. Warren Buffett, who said in a CNBC interview, "Anything you do to improve your own talents and make yourself more valuable will get paid off in terms of appropriate real purchasing power." So in essence, what our good friend Mr. Buffett was alluding to was the fact that the business path you eventually take is not so much as relevant as the growth and improvement you need to bring into your life and business to make it flourish. Let that sink in for a bit. Now, investing in yourself could consist of a myriad of things you can do. It could, maybe taking an online course to improve and any skill you're planning to build, maybe a business around, or simply fundamentally having more confidence in expressing your ideas and working to bring them into the limelight of reality. One key aspect you also need to bear in mind, and which our good friend Aliko Dangote personally endorses, is to invest in not just yourself but your team as well. He even stated that he has invested in his team so much that he can't begin a project and not finish it. Reasons for their back-to-back successes so far. When it comes to business, there's no I in team. You can't go solo, it's simply a dead end. Now that we've established the all-important first step, it's apt to look into the other stuff success is made of, cause here come number 2. Invest in what you understand. Now, investing in what you understand might seem pretty vague to some people, but trust me, it fundamentally just means having information on the business you're about to invest in. For example, crypto is a new hype of our times, and many youngsters are making a killing out of it. But the more reserved older millennials or people of an older age group, to them it's uncharted waters on many fronts, and it would be wise for anyone who wishes to get involved to have as much information as they can about, say, blockchain, NFTs, and so on. In 2012, our good friend Aliko told MTV Base in an interview that he'd never invested anything at all in what he didn't fully understand. As a good investor, your main objective is to minimize risk and capitalize on opportunity. Forget the jazz about no risk, no pay. I can personally vouch and say that an investment doesn't have to make a killing, it just doesn't have to lose you money, and that's fine. In this crazy mayhem of investing, the key decisions you make have to be long-term, and these decisions are going to come fast and paced every minute that the entire population of Qatar are being grown algorithmically and at speeds of up to nanoseconds. According to Forbes, the more information you have about finance as a whole and personal finance, the more security you probably have as you minimize risks and enjoy only the spoils of investments. Even JP Morgan, the great financier, understood my second rule of investments and kept pushing in his investments despite the setbacks that occasionally came, and went as you would have with investments. Learning, in any case, is an unending process, and money, howbeit, is constantly evolving. But trust me, my friends, these fundamentals stay the same. Get yourself educated on how stuff works and become a master at stuff. Get yourself educated on investments you wish to make and become a master of it. Again, it's not rocket science. Now that we've established ourselves easily to the first two of my 5-step formula, gear up, cause here comes number 3. View money as a long-term goal. Here, investments are sort of like a seed that grows to yield capital gains, and as such they require planning and execution to the details as much as any other seed requirements in order to yield tangible results. Ever heard the saying, someone sitting in the shade today because someone planted a tree a long time ago? Well, that couldn't be more true, as investments could be seen as a decision to place your money long term where you feel it could grow the most over a certain period of time. If you're thinking of going short term and making a killing instant investments, then my friends, you can't be more wrong. There's of course always the dangerous effect I find in thinking short term when it comes to investing money. But then, that's a mindset that blinds main investors and keeps them in a rat race. They are thinking, if I can just get this break, or if I can just double my weekly or monthly income somehow. Well, that's what makes the rich and famous different. The fact is, they aren't always motivated by money. Yes, I said it, money isn't their main motivation, which may sound strange to the untrained ear. However, to people who understand wealth, that is, those with the vast majority of it in the first place, they speak on a very different tone when it comes to money making. For example, Mr. Mike Adenoga, one of Africa's most influential tycoons, who says the key to understand the transitions of how money evolves is to plan long term. You see, a good investor is completely in control of his money. He doesn't rush to make decisions on what he owns. He needs not be overly anxious about the outcome of a certain business engagement, because fundamentally, it's a number game, and as long as you play your cards right, you're guaranteed success. So what's my advice to you today? Well, that question can be answered easily by saying you have enough information about investments you're willing to make, and then you invest in it without necessarily focusing on details such as market volatility, and in the case of real estate, you can invest without entirely focusing on the current location or even in the new and bustling cryptocurrency world. Whatever your investment portfolio may be, the prime focus should be on long-term results rather than short-term gains. Once you master this, then it's safe to say you're well on your way to making those billions. And to make matters more interesting, get set as we're about to move to step 4. Give back to the world. Okay, I know what you're about to say. You think I've lost it and I couldn't possibly be serious. I mean, how is it giving away the money earned supposed to be an investment strategy, right? Well, I've got news for you. Giving back doesn't mean you desperately care about orphans or want to sponsor some aid organizations. That would be fueling the already corrupt industry. However, there's a saying that goes, if you can't beat them, join them. My friends, the sad truth is, these days billionaires don't start a charity or donate to one out of kindness of their hearts, or just because they want to help anyone. They themselves, of course, can't. You see, it's all a guise, a sham. They just want you to believe that they're committed to helping others, whereas the truth is, when it comes to investing, it doesn't really matter who holds your money. And if that being the case, your money is held by a charity, it doesn't mean that you lose control of that money or what it's being used for without the added benefits of paying taxes on that donated income. And given the fact that they don't have to pay those taxes to the government, which makes it impossible for them to control the wealth they are giving away, they are much fund charities where they have full control of the money they fund, plus the government rewards them for doing so. Take for example in South Africa, if your spouse needs to travel a lot and you want them to travel for free, simply donate to a charity or foundation which buys the aircraft or vehicle tax-free. Under this clause, you pay zero in taxes for any purchase made under the guise of a charity. Long story short, once you've earned some cash, normally you'd be taxed higher. And in order to avoid funding the government of your hard work, you have to do some pretty clever means by which you can avoid such a scenario. And there's none better, or at least none that I know of, than charities. If you thought you could be a billionaire and a saint at the same time, then I'm sorry, because that world does not exist. Billionaires are opportunists and they take advantage of anyone and anything to gain business leverage. That's where the phrase, "it's nothing personal, it's just business," gets coined from. So after my fourth step, I can already see you owning a billion-dollar hedge fund stock. But then, don't get too excited as we have one more step to go through. Hold on to whatever you have because the tempo is about to rise. Here comes number 5. Understand your environment. If you're watching this video, then chances are you're African and specifically West or East African. So let's take the example of Nigeria, which represents some of the most complex investments environments in Africa. And it's of course the home country of our good friend Mr. Aliko Dangote. As the old saying goes, while in Rome, do what the Romans do. This statement couldn't be more true, as to be a good investor, especially in Africa, you need to understand the business dynamics of the continent, something our good friends Aliko and Dangote have mastered to their fingertips. Here, quite a few things would seem off or out of tune with the conventional way business and investments unfold. For instance, if you're planning on buying some land in Nigeria, you're going to have to take into consideration the Omo Onile. Now just before you ask, the Omo Onile are the type of people, let's just say, you certainly don't want to mess with. But then, who are they? They're basically land grabbers who can screw you over because of some family ties they have to the land you own. Seriously ever heard about a scam involving some Nigerian prince? Well, this could be even more common in the mainland, as there are hundreds or probably thousands of local communities that have a certain ancestral ownership on land and feel entitled to it. And these factors are scary, as courts turn a blind eye to these sort of instances. It's very hard to enforce any sort of regulation that prohibits some nobody to claim ownership of land you've purchased. And so my dear friends, it's these sort of scenarios that make finding land in Nigeria an issue. Now there are many instances like this involving other investments that I can't even begin to go into. We'd simply spend hours and barely go anywhere. The key thing to master here, every investment you make has different niches, and you have to consider very precautiously. And taking a scope of environment is my very last step in investments, which you would make for the long haul and reap the benefits like our good friend Aliko Dangote. Sadly, this is where we say our goodbyes, but then who says our relationship has to end here? You can subscribe to our family here at Think Rich Africa and make this relationship a long-lasting one. It's truly a journey, so why not come along for a ride? It'll be fun, I can promise that. See you in another Think Rich Media edition.